All right, all right. Hey, what's up, good people? I'm QC. Welcome to another Talking and Grubbing live stream. I hope everybody's doing good. I hope your Friday good. You know, I want to know what y'all about to get into this weekend. And the NFL playoffs continue this weekend, starting tomorrow, and that's why to break down all the matchups in the AFC and NFC divisional playoffs. If you're coming into the live stream, make sure you hit the like button. For all my loyal subscribers for me, if this is your first time in the channel, welcome. Don't make it your last. Subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and make sure you hit all so you don't miss any new videos or upcoming live streams from me, because I'm coming with a whole Monday night, I'll be live streaming during the national championship game between LSU and Clemson. I'm going to be live streaming, a few playoff matchups this weekend, starting tomorrow afternoon with the Vikings and 49ers. Then later on in the evening, I'm going to live stream during the Titans and Ravens game. Then Sunday night, join me at 6 o'clock as I will be live streaming the Seahawks and Packers game. That was the subscribers' choice that people voted on for me to live stream. I want to thank you for your votes and thank you for your selection. So I will be live streaming that game. Also, next week, I'll be live streaming during the Lakers and Rockets game. And also, February 2nd, I'll be live streaming during the Super Bowl. Intelligent Psycho, what's up, man? How you doing? Thanks for joining me. How's your Friday? But yeah, this weekend, these divisional playoff matchups, these are some great games. We got great quarterback play. Okay, that's good, Intelligent Psycho. Skills Respect 90, what's up? How you doing? How's your Friday going? But yeah, this weekend we got Aaron Rodgers versus Russell Wilson. We got Jimmy G versus Kirk Cousins. We got Deshaun Watson and Pat Mahomes going at it. Also, we got Lamar Jackson, who I think is the favorite for MVP, going against Ryan Tannehill, who definitely turned around the Titans as soon as he got inserted to the starting lineup. So, man, these are going to be some great matchups. I can't wait to see them. I can't wait to see who's going to be playing in the AFC and NFC championship games a week from Sunday. Still respect me. How many years do I think Tom Brady has left? About another good 2 years at the most. About another good 2 years left. Okay, Intelligent Cycle said, can't wait for the playoffs. And Skip Bayless saying some dumb stuff again. No, Intelligent Cycle, what did Skip Bayless say? What dumb stuff is Skip saying now? I wanted to know, man. You didn't have to delete your comment. I wanted to know what he said. I'm curious. I'm definitely curious to hear what Skip had to say. Also, if you want, you can donate to the channel via Cash App or PayPal. The Cash App cash tag and the PayPal link are up top in the chat, or you can donate here during this live stream on the Super Chat. Any donation that you can give, I will greatly appreciate it. It helps me keep this channel going so I can continue to create more quality content for y'all. Doing these videos and these live streams, but also I want to do more for this channel. I want to get back out on the road a little bit more in 2020. Go to more restaurants and even go to some sporting events to see different stadiums and arenas. Like this background I got right now, this is Levi Stadium. I would love to see that stadium because, whenever I can, watch some of the 49ers games, man, that stadium looks tight. Okay, I'm showing my age by saying that, but man, that stadium just looks just looks beautiful. Okay. Yeah, I did hear about that Steelers respect. I heard that Belichick is interested in Andy Dalton, if Brady leaves for the Patriots. Why would he want Andy Dalton of all QBs? See, they're definitely paying for not keeping Jimmy G in New England. Because say if Brady does leave, now they're scrambling to look for another QB. If they would have kept Jimmy Garoppolo, they wouldn't have this problem. He would be the Steve Young, to the Patriots. Excuse me, he will be the Steve Young of the Patriots. As y'all saw, as soon as Steve Young came in after they let Montana go to Kansas City, Steve Young came in, balling, won a Super Bowl, and he was the QB in there in San Fran for many years. So Robert Kraft made a dumb move. Skip said, okay, Intelligent Cycle, you said, well, no, this is Intelligent Cycle's words. He said that Pat Mahomes is like a spoiled rich kid that gets everything he wants. What the hell kind of take is that from Skip? That's such a dumbass take. Mahomes never acted like a spoiled rich kid. No, that is very asinine. There's a lot of people. There's a lot more QBs who act worse. But I definitely can't put Pat Mahomes on that list. Not at all. Mahomes never acted like a spoiled kid and got everything he wanted. That is such a stupid take. Skip is always coming with some of the most dumbest takes in the world. Boy, anybody listens to Skip or agrees with him on almost any take, you need your head examined. I'm serious. How the hell you gonna take sports analysis from a man who only scored 1 point in high school and never played a lick of high school ball or baseball? Heck, he didn't even play. I bet he didn't even play pee-wee football or little league baseball. Okay, Steele's Respect said, imagine if Bill Belichick won a Super Bowl with Andy Dalton. Man, then that would definitely prove, if that were to happen, Steele's Respect, then that would definitely prove that Andy Dalton only won because of the system, not because of his play. That would be the only reason why Andy Dalton would win a Super Bowl with the Patriots, because of the system that Belichick runs, not because of him. But I still can't get over Skip Bayless saying that Pat Mahomes is a spoiled kid getting everything he wants. Hell, Dak is a spoiled kid. He played, matter of fact, Dak Prescott plays for one of the most spoiled, entitled franchises in the NFL, if not all of sports. Because, man, Jerry Jones, the Cowboys, and especially Cowboy fans definitely walk around with that spoiled rich kid syndrome. They walk with a huge sense of entitlement. They think they're supposed to be in the Super Bowl every year because they're the Cowboys. They think it's their birthright to be in the Super Bowl. And not only their birthright, but to also win the Super Bowl. They think the NFL should just give them the Vince Lombardi trophy because they play every year. So the Cowboys have more of a spoiled rich kid mentality than Pat Mahomes could ever have. And I mean, come on, Pat Mahomes, he worked his way up. He did his thing in college. And also, if he was so spoiled, he would have replaced Alex Smith in Kansas City his first year. He wouldn't have sat behind Alex Smith for a whole season. He would have been starting over him from the jump, which maybe should have happened in my opinion. But that's another discussion for another time. K. Steele's Respect said, how would you rate Andy Dalton's skills versus Blake Bortles? Well, I would take Andy Dalton before Blake Bortles. That's how I rate Andy Dalton's skills. I'll take him before Blake Bortles. Yeah, Alex Smith is underrated, but it seemed like to me he never played to his full potential. It seemed like he could have done a lot more in his career than what he's done for some reason. I don't think Alex Smith ever played to his full potential, in my opinion. But that's just me. Maybe you disagree, Steelers respect. But I'm about to get into some dinner here. Get to break down these playoff games. Got some green beans, some shells and cheese, and some chicken. I'm sitting up here fading like a ghost. Okay, there we go. Green beans are good. Got to do the shells and cheese. Well, Steelers respect, you ain't alone. A lot of fans wish Kyle Shanahan was the head coach of their team. Heck, I wish he was the head coach of the Browns. So I don't feel bad. I'm a sucker for macaroni. Y'all gotta excuse me. Okay, let me put this plate down for a minute. Come back to the chicken. All right. Now, before I get into the AFC divisional preview, gotta do a little recap of the wild card weekend last week. Most of these games were some great games, highly contested, highly competitive. You know, the Texans, they came all the way back from 16-0 to beat the Bills in OT. You know, Deshaun Watson did his thing. They shot themselves in the foot, though, because they kept on settling for field goals instead of scoring touchdowns when they should have had touchdowns. But some of those penalties did them in. Then the Titans, they went into Foxborough and dethroned the Patriots, you know, who were the defending Super Bowl champs. Mike Vrabel, you know, got the best of his mentor, Bill Belichick, and may have ended the Patriots dynasty as we know it. Then on the NFC side, the Vikings, they end up stunning the New Orleans Saints in OT in the Superdome. Unbelievable. Kirk Cousins threw the pass to Kyle Rudolph for the touchdown. You know, even though it was a little push off there, but hey, the refs didn't call it. So Vikings walked out with the win. Then Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks, you know, flew into Philadelphia and ended up not beating the Eagles in a close, you know, grind out battle. You know, Russell Wilson did his thing as always, had a beast mode sighting. Finally, you know, they gave it to him at the 1 yard line instead of denying him. Yes, he had a touchdown. So these four teams from Wild Card Weekend are here in the in the Elite Eight in these divisional playoffs. Okay. Steelers respect, you said, did you see the dumb report fans saying if Brady signed with the Steelers, this offseason. No, Steals respect. What did they say? And intelligence cycle, you said, but back to the division games. Okay, you got the Chiefs over the Texans. I'll tell you why. Well, I'll tell you why. One is because they're balanced attack on both fronts. Okay, I see your point on that. I see your point on that, intelligence cycle. Okay, who you got for the other three games? Who do you have for Ravens, Titans, Seahawks, Packers, and 49ers, Vikings? Okay, Steals respect. You also said Drew Brees deserves better. He should have at least another. Okay, I know you. Okay, you basically say he should have another Super Bowl ring. I blame Sean Payton. The coach wasted Brees' prime years, just like Mike McCarthy did to Aaron Rodgers. Well, Steals respect. Drew Brees was late in his prime when he got to New Orleans. He was just starting to be late into his prime. He wasn't like in the middle of his prime. He was late. So what Drew Brees has done, beyond 2010 has been pretty damn remarkable. Pretty damn remarkable. Now, yeah, he should have another Super Bowl title. We all agree that he should have been there last year with an opportunity to win another one, playing the Patriots, but the refs unfortunately robbed them like they kind of robbed him here in this game. Okay, intelligence cycle. This is your picks for the other games. You said my mind is saying the Seahawks over the Packers, but I'm not confident at all because they're one-dimensional with suspect defense. Okay, Steals respect said Drew was 27 when he came to the Saints. Wow. But I always okay. Well, I didn't know the exact age when he came to the Saints. I knew he was close to 30. But thank you for that information, Steals respect. I knew it was close to 30. Okay, Steals respect. You say Green Bay will beat the Seahawks. Okay, why do you think Green Bay will beat the Seahawks? And also, Steals respect, what's your prediction on the other games? Okay, now since we're talking about these divisional playoff games, let's get into it. And I'm about to start in the AFC, starting with the Titans versus the Ravens. Now, the Titans and their win over the Patriots, it wasn't too much offense being played in this game. Ryan Tannehill only had 72 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. And also, but Derrick Henry, he was the man in this game. He was a man amongst boys as he had 182 yards and a touchdown. But it was that vaunted Titans defense that came through. They run that 3-4, and it's no joke. Logan Ryan, the cornerback, the ex-Patriot, he had 6 tackles and a pick 6 that sealed the game for the Titans. Also, the linebacker, Rashaan Evans, had 10 tackles, and Kevin Bayard, he had 6 tackles. Now, if you're the Ravens, well, I have this thing called watch your back. If you're the opposing team, this is what you got to look out for. So if you're the Ravens, you definitely got to watch your back for A.J. Brown, because even though he didn't have any receptions in the Patriots game, he can still go off at any given time. He's had a sneaky quiet year with over 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. Now on the flip side, on defense, if you're the Ravens, you got to watch your back for the linebacker Harold Landry III. He had 43 tackles, 9 sacks, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 pick during the regular season. Man, if if this man gets going, it could be a long day for Lamar Jackson in that great, high-powered Ravens offense. You know, I know a lot of people look at this game on paper and think this is a huge mismatch, but it's actually a little more close than you think because both teams have great defenses. You know, even though the Titans may not have the sexiest offense in the world like the Ravens and the Chiefs, they can still find a ways to put up points. And the Titans, they're going to want to make this game ugly, you know, a grind out game, just like the one against the Patriots. And I don't think the Ravens want to play an ugly grind out game because, you know, it's going to be it's going to be a, you know, a battle. It's going to, you know, be very physical. A lot of teams are going to impose their will or try to impose their will. So, you know, this Titans team, they're coming in pretty hot. You know, they're coming in confident off of, you know, a big road win in the wild card game against the defending Super Bowl champ. So if you're a Ravens fan, you do not take this Titans team lightly. Emmett Day, what's up? How you doing? Okay, Stills Respect, you said you taking the Packers because, well, you said, I just think Aaron Rodgers might win another ring this year. You also said 49ers will beat the Vikings, but I'm not going to sleep on the Vikings. They are good. They definitely are. Okay, so who do you got for the Chiefs and Texans and the Ravens and the Titans? Okay, 49. You also said Steelers Respect. 49ers fans was comparing Jimmy G to Brady, saying he will win them multiple Super Bowls for years to come. Well, that's more of a, well, we'll see. That's all I can say. We'll see. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he might be the next Joe Montana. You know, in San Fran. But we'll wait and see. Okay, now let's go to the Ravens. As I said before, the Ravens, they have that very high power offense. The offensive coordinator, Roman, has done one hell of a job, you know, putting together this offense, man. This is one of the best, if not the best offense in the NFL, and is led by Lamar Jackson, who I think is the odds-on favorite to take home the MVP this year, as he finished the regular season with 3,127 passing yards, 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Also, he had 1,206 rushing yards, which has never been. Matter of fact, that's the first time that's been done ever since Michael. No, wait a minute. That's historic. This is the first time a quarterback had, you know, 1,000+ passing yards and rushing yards in the same season. And he also had 7 rushing touchdowns with 81.9 QBR rating. Also, the running back Mark Ingram, who is definitely proven that he doesn't need the Saints to, you know, be a great back. He finished with over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. Also, Mark Andrews, who I think gets slept on as a tight end. You know, I think he's a very underrated tight end. He finished with 52 yards and 10 touchdowns. Also, you got the young wide receiver Marquise Brown, who finished with 584 yards and 7 touchdowns. And the Ravens have a real good O-line that's anchored by the left tackle Ron Stanley. Also, you got the right tackle in Orlando Brown and Patrick McKay, the center, who definitely can, you know, keep Lamar Jackson clean. Also can set up, well, also can protect him pretty well, and they can protect him as pretty well too. Okay, let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Emmett Day, you said Chiefs will beat the Texans and Ravens will beat the Titans in a close game. Okay, Emmett, what's your prediction on the NFC matchups? Who you got for the 49ers, Vikings, and the Seahawks and Packers? Stills Respect said Titans will beat the Ravens. Of course, I hate the Ravens. Yeah, we got that in common, Stills Respect. We don't like the Ravens. Okay, Intelligent Cycle, you said I got the Ravens all the way to the Super Bowl. To me, this is a bad matchup. An improved Ravens front four, Lamar Jackson, MVP front runner, will go wild on the Titans. Like I said, it all depends. I don't know. It all depends. If this is if like a close game and this is like a grind out smash mouth game, I think that favors the Titans more than the Ravens. I don't think the Ravens want that kind of game. They want, they want to put highlight reels on the board, in my opinion. Okay, Intelligence Cycle, you said the 49ers will win, but I cannot sleep on the Vikings. It'll be a nail biter. I see a 27-23 type game, and it will come down to a single possession. Okay. Steelers Respect 90 says, I always wanted to see Jimmy Graham play for the Steelers. He is an underrated tight end. Definitely. Yeah, Jimmy Graham definitely doesn't get his due as a tight end. I agree. Okay, Steelers Respect, you asked, okay, you doing the tight end matchup. Shannon Sharp versus Rob Gronkowski. Who is better? Oh, man. That's a tough one. Ooh, that's a tough one. Shannon Sharp, he was pretty great through his whole career, but Gronk was great as well. But I'll take Gronk by a close margin. That matchup is very close, but I would take Gronk by a slight margin. It seemed like he put more of his imprint on the game than Shannon Sharp did. Because especially with those Broncos teams, even that Ravens team in 2000, both of those teams had great running backs. The Broncos, they had Terrell Davis, and then he got to more. They had Jamal Lewis. But Gronk, so Shannon, even though he was a great tight end and could have big games, it's like his games were more quiet than Gronk's. With Gronk, he has an imprint on the game. So I would take Gronk by a close margin. Okay, now back to the Ravens and Titans. We got to talk about the Ravens defense. They run the 3-4. They have a little bit at the beginning of the season, but when they traded for Marcus Peters, from the Rams in mid-season, man, the cornerback has done tremendous wonders for them. As ever since he came in, he's only had 40 tackles, 5 picks, and 13 passes deflected. Also, the Ravens, they're known for linebackers, and they have a great linebacking core that's pretty underrated, in my opinion, in Matthew Judon and Patrick Onwuasor. I hope I said that name. I hope I said his name right. If anybody's watching, if I said his name wrong, please correct me, and I apologize. Now, Judon, he had 43 tackles, 9.5 sacks, and 4 forced fumbles, while P.O. had 48 tackles, 3 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. Also, can't forget about the veteran Earl Thomas, who came as a free agent in the offseason from Seattle. He finished with 42 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 2 interceptions, and 4 passes deflected. Then you got the cornerback Marlon Humphrey, who finished with 53 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, and 3 interceptions and 14 passes deflected. Now, the Ravens, they're top 10 they were top 10 in offense and defense during the regular season. They were second in offense while finishing 4th in defense. Now, if you're the Titans, you got to watch your back for the other running back, Gus Edwards. He might have been quiet during this season, but this man could put up big numbers at any given time. Because the Titans defense can be so focused on Mark Ingram that they may give the ball to Edwards more, and he could definitely hurt you with some big yards. He had 711 yards and 2 touchdowns during the regular season. Also, another one that can hurt you on offense is the veteran wide receiver Willie Snead. That man is sneaky good. He's definitely had some big games. you know, excuse me, if you know, if Lamar gets him involved, that definitely opens up the Ravens passing game a little bit more. Even though he finished with 339 yards and 5 touchdowns during the regular season, Willie Snead can have a breakout game at any given time. So if the Titans are not careful and they sleep on him, then Willie Snead could definitely burn them for some yards and a couple of touchdowns. On the flip side, on defense, you got to watch out for Michael Pierce, the nose tackle. Even though he had 19 tackles and a half sack, if he could definitely be a factor in this Ravens pass rush, it would definitely be a long night, for Ryan Tannehill. Also, you got to watch out for the other linebacker, Josh Baines. He had 23 tackles, 1 sack, and 2 interceptions. Also, the defensive tackle, Brandon Williams, he had 13 tackles and 1 sack. If these dudes, can put their imprint on this game for the Ravens defense, because say the Titans offensive line is going to be so busy double teaming cats like Matt Judon, if they can help get pressure on Tannehill and even get a sack or 2 off of him, that definitely bodes well for the Ravens. Definitely bodes well for them. So Titans offensive line definitely has to be careful of these 3 dudes, because if they're not, then hey, they could have the biggest games of their lives against them. Now, here's my prediction on this game. Like, I know I'm seeing people in the chat, a lot of people feel this is a big mismatch on paper, but this Titans team does have some talent. They're not scrubs. I mean, come on. They just dethroned the Super Bowl champs in their house. So they're definitely not no scrubs. Mike Vrabel, he's a pretty solid coach. He's definitely making his name in this league, and he's definitely gonna have this Titans team ready, and they're gonna be ready to compete out on that field in M&T Bank Stadium. So this Titans team is not a joke. Now the Ravens, they're doing the thing. They've been doing the thing most of the season. They have the best record all of the AFC. Lamar Jackson's been balling. Mark Ingram is a very underrated running back. Mark Andrews, he's an underrated tight end. And also they have some pretty solid wide receivers. But that defense, man, they have some beast on defense. Matt Judon, Earl Thomas is still doing his thing. Also, Marlon Humphrey, I think he gets slept on as a cornerback. I don't think he gets his just due. So this defense is not a joke. And Marcus Peters has definitely done wonders. He's the main reason why this defense turned it around, in the middle of the season. So I think this may be a grind out. I mean, if this is a grind out game, then this definitely goes into the Titans' favor, because Baltimore does not want to get into a grind out physical game, because, that spells punishment for them. Some of their players, are going to be roughed up and nicked up. So they definitely don't want to get into that type of game. But I'm still going to go with the Ravens. It could go either way. It could be them blowing them out, or they may have to, win a grind out physical battle. But I'm definitely going to take the Ravens at home. Now, on to the next AFC divisional matchup. We got the Houston Texans and Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Texans, they came all the way back on the Buffalo Bills in their AFC wildcard game last Saturday to beat them in overtime 22-19. Deshaun Watson had a pretty good game, as he was 20 of 25 for 247 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown, no picks, and also he had 55 rushing yards. DeAndre Hopkins, he had 90 yards, 6 receptions. The veteran Carlos Hyde had 48 rushing yards. And also, the Texans defense was pretty solid as J.J. Watt, Whitney Marcellus, and Jacob Martin had 3 sacks combined. They run a basic 3-4 defense. And they could quarterback. They can also force turnovers. And the Texans offense, Deshaun Watson is the man. He could definitely pick you apart with his arm and his legs. So if you're the Chiefs, you got to watch your back for tight end Darren Fells. This is one of Watson's other favorite targets outside of Hopkins, even though he only had 341 yards during the regular season. He also has 7 touchdowns. So if you're not careful with Darren Fells, sleep on him, he could definitely make you pay. Now, on the flip side, if you're the offensive line of the Chiefs, you got to watch out for the linebacker Zach Cunningham. He had 99 tackles and 2 sacks. He leads the team in tackles. Then you got the strong safety Justin Reed, who had 57 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 5 passes deflected. And then you got the other linebacker, Bernardrick McKinney, who had 54 tackles, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble. So the Chiefs offense, Pat Mahomes has definitely got to stay sharp on point, because this Texas defense, they have some ball hawks and they could definitely come after him, get some sacks, force him into some turnovers. So he has to be sharp. He's got to be quick. He's got to be aggressive. Also, they're definitely going to try to take away Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. So both of those guys got to get open. And also, there's got to be some other guys to step up as well, along with Kelce and Tyreek Hill. I'll definitely get into those when I preview the Chiefs. But let me see y'all comments. Okay, Steele's respect. You said John Elway isn't even a top 5 quarterback. Okay, Intelligence Cycle, who do you think is an X factor in Ravens and Titans? For me, Ravens is Marcus Peters, Titans, A.J. Brown. Definitely agree with those, Intelligence Cycle. If Ryan Tannehill can find a way to get A.J. Brown going, and have a nice game, then that definitely expands the Titans' chances of winning this game. Definitely gives them a great chance to win this game. He was quiet against the Patriots, but if he could have a pretty nice game against the Ravens, especially with this secondary and Peters, Thomas, that definitely gives Titans a chance to win. Now, on the flip side, Marcus Peters, if he can shut down Brown, as well as, the receivers on the Titans, that definitely bodes well for the Ravens. And also, no, A.J. Brown, my mistake. That definitely bodes well for the Ravens. And another factor that you're not talking about, Earl Thomas. If Earl Thomas can be a factor in this game, shutting down the Titans tight end, then that both of them as well. And also, that front 7 is going to be a factor, because if they can contain Derrick Henry, then, that will pay a hell of a lot of dividends for the Ravens. Kate Stills respect. You asked me, why do people say that Brett Favre is great? Brett Favre is the most overrated quarterback in the 90s who threw multiple interceptions. Aaron Rodgers is way better. Oh, man, I disagree, Stills respect. I can't call Brett Favre overrated. I'm sorry, man. Definitely can't call him overrated. You can call him a lot of things, but overrated ain't one of them. Not at all. That Brett Favre was not overrated. Definitely can't call that man over. And yeah, he had his share of interceptions, but he also had his share of game-winning drives as well. You always do that, even with him throwing, say, 2 interceptions in the game. If it's a close game, you still can't count out Brett Favre. you still have a chance to win a game with Brett Favre no matter how he plays. You know, he always had that moxie, that swagger, you know, that attitude that, hey, I'm not out of this game. We're not out of this game. So I definitely can't call Brett Favre overrated. And also, why you say John Elway isn't a top 5 quarterback? Okay, you also asked me, did you see that AB and Logan Paul might box each other? And do you think his future? Do you think this hurts his future in the NFL? Man, okay, as far as AB and Logan Paul, he's doing that for publicity. He's trying to keep his name out there. Now, if I mean, it all depends. Now, it might hurt his chances in the NFL if he gets his butt whooped and gets a concussion, because he's definitely going to have to be in concussion protocol for a while. Yeah, I agree. Stills respect. It is surprising to see Ryan Tannehill playing the best football of his career. But hey, you definitely gotta give him his props. Definitely gotta give Ryan Tannehill his props. Get some more of this dinner here. He's definitely turned back the clock. As a matter of fact, I think he should have some MVP votes for what he's done with the Titans. But you gotta give Mike Vrabel his props though. Okay, Stills respect. You said Logan Paul isn't a boxer. All he does is box other YouTubers for clout. Oh yeah, him and his brother are clout chasers. You know, I definitely know that. I mean, they're from my home state of Ohio. They grew up in a suburb of Cleveland called Westlake. So yeah, Logan Paul, him and Jake are clout chasers. I agree. Okay, we're gonna flip it over to the Chiefs in a minute. Okay, still respect. You also said if Peyton Manning was healthy and still, he will give the AFC problems. Yeah, he probably could give the AFC a run. Well, I say that's 50-50. That's very 50-50 right there. Maybe he would give the AFC problems, maybe he wouldn't. Because, I mean, look at his last season in Denver. You know, especially when they won that Super Bowl, Payton was terrible. I mean, he only had a few good games, but let's keep it real. It was Von Miller, Malik Jackson, Talib Akib, and DeMarcus Ware and all those other cats that carried Peyton to that Super Bowl. Let's be real on that. All right, now let's flip it over to the Kansas City Chiefs. Pat Mahomes, last year's NFL MVP, had another strong season. as he finished with 4,031 yards, 26 touchdowns, 5 interceptions with a 76.5 QBR rating. Now, Tyreek Hill's numbers went down a little bit from last year, but he still turned in a solid season with 860 yards, 7 touchdowns while having 58 receptions. Travis Kelce, the tight end, who's from my hometown, Cleveland, Ohio, one of the best tight ends in the NFL. He finished with 1,229 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 97 receptions. So this is Pat Mahomes' favorite target right here. And also the Chiefs have a real nice O-line that's anchored by the veteran right tackle Mitchell Schwartz and the veteran left tackle Eric Fisher. Excuse me. Now, the Chiefs, they're not really known for their defense, but they definitely got some talent on defense that can get to any quarterback. They acquired Frank Clark, the defensive end, in a trade from Seattle in the offseason. He finished with 27 tackles, 8 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 1 interception. Then you have the defensive tackle, Chris Jones, who had 23 tackles, 9 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. Then they acquired the safety, Tyrann Mathieu, in the offseason, and he finished with 63 tackles, 4 interceptions, and 12 passes deflected. Then you have Charvarius Wade, the cornerback, who had 56 tackles, 2 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, and 10 pass deflections during the regular season. Okay, Stills Respect, you also said, do you think Manning is in the GOAT conversation? He also has 5 MVPs, most of all time, and 2 Super Bowls. Yeah, you also forget, Stills Respect, he's also a Super Bowl MVP. And Stills Respect, you said you got the Chiefs winning the AFC. Okay, Stills Respect, why do you have the Chiefs win the AFC? Now, the Chiefs, during the regular season, they finished 6th in total offense while being ranked 17th in total defense. If you're the Titans on offense, you got to watch your back for Sammy Watkins, the other wide receiver. Now, he's been pretty quiet during the regular season. He had 673 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 52 receptions, but this man could have a big game on you at any given time. He is no joke. When he was originally drafted by Buffalo, a lot of people thought that he would become one of the best wideouts in the NFL. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way, but this man could still hurt you on any given day. And if Pat Mahomes gets this man involved, that definitely opens up the Chiefs' offense. Even already is, Also, you got to watch out for the running back, Damian Williams. He also can have a big rushing game on you. Although he only had 498 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 111 carries during the regular season, Damian Williams is always due for a breakout game at any given time on any given day. Man definitely has talent. He can bounce off talent. So you definitely don't want to sleep on him. If you're the Texans defense, you definitely want to contain these two, because if you don't, then it's going to be a field day for the Chiefs at Arrowhead. Now, on the flip side, on defense, if you're the Texans, definitely got to watch out for the linebacker Anthony Hitchens, as he finished with 51 tackles, 2 sacks, and 1 forced fumble recovery, and the other linebacker, Damian Wilson, who had 52 tackles, 1.5 sack, and 1 forced fumble, as these two combined for 103 tackles, 3.5 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles during the regular season. So if Deshaun Watson and this Texas offensive line is not careful, these two can mess around and make their names here in this game by getting sacks on him, forcing, Carlos Hyde into fumbles. Also, getting some interceptions off of Watson as well. So these names right here, you definitely do not want these guys making their fame here in this game. Okay, you said if Pat Mahomes steals respect, you said if Pat Mahomes wins a Super Bowl, Andy Reid wouldn't be considered a 50-50 coach anymore. You also said Pat Mahomes is a great quarterback. Imagine him in the Steelers system with AB and Bell with Kyle Shanahan coaching. I mean, not every QB works in everybody's system. I don't know. I don't know how Pat Mahomes would do in the Steelers system. You know, some quarterbacks don't work good in every system. Also, I forgot to also ask you, Steelers respect. Who do you think will win the NFC? Since you got the Chiefs coming out of the AFC, who's coming out of the NFC? Okay, now with this game, man, you got two great young quarterbacks, you know, who are superstar, who's already, you know, making their superstar status known. You know, you have Mahomes coming off of an MVP season. Deshaun Watson is an MVP candidate almost every year. You also got two talented wide receivers on both teams. You got Hopkins, who I think is very underrated. I don't think he gets his just due. Also, Tyreek Hill, you know, one of the best young wide receivers in this game. Also, you know, you also got another receiver. Well, he just plays tight end in Travis Kelce, who I think is one of the best tight ends in this game. You know, and also you have talent on both sides on defense as well. They both can get to the quarterback. They can put tremendous pressure on them. Also, they can force turnovers. You know, and both secondaries are pretty solid that can shut down either team's best wide receiver. So this is going to be a very good game. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be highly contested. I wouldn't be surprised if it came down to the final second, to a single possession, or if it's decided in overtime. So I went back and forth all week on this game. You know, it was hard for me to decide, get my prediction because, you know, Mahomes and Watson, they're just so basically evenly matched. So they both can carry their teams to victory in this game. You know, I'm going to give my prediction, but it's with this disclaimer. I wouldn't be surprised if the other team won. So I got the Chiefs winning at home in a very close game, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Texans won this game either. So I have the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs, you know, Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes, you know, taking on each other in the AFC Championship game. All right, that's my AFC divisional preview. Now it's time to go over to the NFC. And I start with the Minnesota Vikings versus the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the Vikings, you know, they're coming off of a great win in New Orleans in overtime last week. Okay, Steelers respect. You got the 49ers taking the NFC. You also said it was rumored last year when Jimmy G went 5-0 for the 49ers, Bill called them after every game. Tom Brady went to Robert Kraft and told that the coach wanted to build his team around the younger star. Yeah, Bill Belichick definitely wanted to keep Jimmy G in New England. He did not want him traded, but, you know, Tom Brady had to go to Robert Kraft and get his way because Robert Kraft is, Tom Brady is Robert Kraft's boy, so he has to do what his boy says. So he got, he forced Bill to get rid of Jimmy G. But let's get back to the Vikings. The Vikings, they played very well on the road in New Orleans last week. Kirk Cousins, he showed up as he had 242 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, and he went 19 of 31. Dalvin Cook was the man in this game. He definitely put his imprint on this game as he had 98 yards, 2 touchdowns, and also 36 receiving touchdowns. Adam Thielen balled out. It's like they could not they did not have an answer for him in that Saints secondary because he had 129 yards, which diminished Stephon Diggs tremendously as he only finished with 19 yards. But also, Kyle Rudolph, even though he had 31 yards in that game, he still was the man in the end, because he caught the winning touchdown pass in the corner of the end zone in overtime to end the game. Now, there's some controversy on that touchdown. Some people feel Rudolph pushed off, but hey, the ref didn't call it, and the Vikings got the win, and here they are against the 49ers. Okay, Stills respect. You also said last year it seemed like Bill and Tom was throwing shade at each other. Definitely agree with that. Definitely agree they were throwing shade at each other. Matter of fact, there was an ESPN article that came out sometime last year that told all the drama that was going on with the Patriots. Okay, Johnny Talk Sports. You said, am I the only one giving Seattle a chance? I wouldn't be now. I picked the Packers, but I wouldn't be surprised if Seattle ended up winning that game against the Packers. I wouldn't. It would not surprise me at all if Russell Wilson went into Green Bay and won that game. So the Seahawks definitely have a chance, but Intelligent Cycle said earlier he would, he gives the Seahawks a chance, but he feels their defense is too suspect. But my problem is not with the defense. They're very talented on defense. It's Pete Carroll that I got a problem with, especially if it's in a close game. Can he make the right plays to win? I mean, we saw it in the Super Bowl, 5 years ago that, that cost them back-to-back Super Bowl titles when he didn't give it to Martin Lynch at the 1 yard line. And also, just this, a few weeks ago against San Fran in the season finale. He could have gave it to Marshawn Lynch at the 1 then, but he didn't. And then Seattle ends up getting flagged for a delay of game penalty, and they got pushed back to the 6 yard line. So my problem is not with the defense. My problem is with the coaching. That's my problem. Also, okay, let me get back to this Vikings and 49ers matchup. Now, the Vikings defense, they did a pretty good job on Drew Brees. Also, they contained Michael Thomas. They made Alvin Kamara non-factor. As Danielle Hunter and Everson Griffin, the defensive end core, had 2.5 sacks combined and 8 tackles combined. Anthony Barr had a pretty nice game. The linebacker had 8 tackles and a big interception to end halftime. Now, if you're the 49ers, you definitely got to watch your back for Kyle Rudolph. Now, I've said this plenty of times, even though Kyle Rudolph has been forgotten in this offense, the man can have a big game at any time. The man has some great hands. Also, that man could just catch touchdowns with ease, as we saw, against the Saints. So the 49ers definitely have to find a way to make Kyle Rudolph a non-factor in this game, or he could have a big day against the 49ers in the Bay. Now, on the flip side on defense, the 49ers, they got to watch out for Anthony Barr because, man, that man knows how to get pressure. He can tackle pretty well. And he also can find a way to get a big pick as he did against Drew Brees in that game. Still, and also another one you have to watch out for is Eric Kendricks. He's sneaky good. He had 70 tackles, a half sack, and 2 forced fumble recoveries during the regular season. So if you don't watch out for these 3 players, if you're the 49ers, then these guys could definitely put their stamp on this game and send the 49ers home for the summer. Okay, before I get to the 49ers, let me see the rest of your... Okay, Stills respect, you said, I bet if Jimmy G wins the Super Bowl this year, Bill Belichick will leave the Patriots. If Brady doesn't leave, Bill will try to prove he can win without Brady. That's an interesting take, Stills respect. That's a very interesting take. So you think that Robert Kraft would side with Tom Brady over Bill Belichick. That's very interesting. Okay, now on to the 49ers. Now we know the 49ers has one of the most potent offenses in the NFL, thanks to head coach Kyle Shanahan, the son of two-time Super Bowl. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's had a pretty great season. MVP caliber season. He's definitely proven Robert Kraft and the Patriots wrong for trading him. He had 3,978 yards, 27 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and a 59.0 QBR rating. Also, his number one weapon is the tight end, George Kittle, who I think is a very underrated tight end. He had 1,053 yards, 5 touchdowns, 85 receptions. Also, the young Deebo Samuel, he was kind of, excuse me, a non-factor to start off the year, but he's come on strong the last few weeks with some big games. He finished with 802 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 57 receptions during the regular season. And also, you can't forget about the running back Raheem Mostert, who had 772 rushing yards, 8 touchdowns, and 137 carries, excuse me. Now, this 49ers offense, wouldn't be anything or do what they do without their strong offensive line that's anchored by the left tackle Joe Staley and the center Ben Garland. All right, so now the 49ers, they also just don't have a great offense. They have a great defense as well. Matter of fact, they have one of the best, if not the best defenses in the NFL, and it has a great front seven. Also, this defense is even starting to be compared with the 2000 Ravens, the 85 Bears, and the 2013 Seahawks. Well, no, 2013 Seahawks with the Legion of Boom. No, 2012 Seahawks, excuse me, with the Legion of Boom. Nick Bosa, the rookie, he's just coming in here, having one hell of a year. The man's a beast. The defensive end had 32 tackles, 9 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 1 interception. Then you got the defensive tackle, DeForest Buckner, who had 34 tackles, 7.5 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. Then you have Eric Armstead, the other defensive end, who finished with 32 tackles, 10 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. Then you got the linebacker Fred Warner, who had 89 tackles, 3 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 1 interception. And now they get even more help here as the cornerback K'Wan Williams is going to play in this game, and he finished with 35 tackles, 4 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, and 2 passes deflected during the regular season. And speaking of the Legion of Boom, that was on that 2012 Seahawks Super Bowl champion team. You can't forget about the veteran Richard Sherman. He finished with 48 tackles, 11 passes deflected, and 3 picks during the regular season. Now, the 49ers that ranked top 10 in total offense and total defense, they finished 4th in total offense and 2nd in total defense during the regular season. Now, if you're the Vikings on offense, you got to watch your back for the veteran running back Tevin Coleman, who Kyle Shanahan had while he was with the Atlanta Falcons as an offensive coordinator. Now, he was behind Devontae Freeman, but he was still a great option as the second running back. But he could definitely break out, have a big game on you. Even though he had 546 touchdowns and 137 carries during the regular season, he could definitely break out and have big games on you. He's not only good with his legs, he's also pretty solid as a receiver as well. So you definitely can't sleep on that either if you're the Vikings. So definitely got to find a way to make Tevin Coleman a non-factor. Also, the veteran wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders. He's a Super Bowl champion. He won with the Vikings a few years ago. You know, he had some pretty nice games during that Super Bowl run. So you definitely want, you know, that's another person you got to worry about, because if Jimmy G could find a way to get Emmanuel Samuels involved in this passing game, that bodes well for the 49ers. He finished with 869 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 66 receptions. You know, so the Vikings D has to neutralize Emmanuel Sanders. You don't want him to get any confidence. You know, you definitely want him to think that he's an old man. So if he turns back the fountain of youth in this game, then you know he could definitely make his name here in this game and could get a nice contract because he's a free agent after this season. Okay, let me see y'all comments. Okay, Intelligence Cycle, you said, made up my mind. I got the Packers in a close game. Close battle, a slugfest. The weather will be a factor. Kicking conditions. Aaron Rodgers doesn't lose at home. Well, I beg to differ on that, Intelligence Cycle. Aaron Rodgers has lost at home in the playoffs. Remember, you forgot, he lost to the Giants in 2011 at home. You know, that's when Green Bay, you know, started off, 12-0? So, yeah, Aaron Rodgers has lost at home. K Stills Respect, you also said Tom Brady threw shade in the interview last year. They asked, do you feel appreciated? What he's done for the Patriots organization? Tom Brady said, plead the fifth. Respect, Julio Jones should leave the Falcons. Why do you think Julio should leave the Falcons, Julio Respect? Stills Respect. Stills Respect. Why do you think Julio Jones should leave the Falcons? And if he leaves for the Falcons, where is he going? Where should he go to? Okay, let me get back to, you know, what the Vikings have to watch their backs for. So on defense, the Vikings definitely have to watch their backs for Jimmy Ward. The Freeze had 51 tackles and 8 pass deflections during the regular season. Also, the linebacker Dre Greenlaw, he had 64 tackles, 1 sack, and 1 interception during the regular season. You know, if these two can mix it up and help out tremendously, you know, with the front 4 and the secondary, then they can find a way to get interceptions, also get more pressure on Kirk Cousins, you know, find ways to shut down, to limit Stephon Diggs or Adam Thielen and even Kyle Rudolph. Also, if they could just make Kirk Cousins make some decisions that he doesn't want to make, that definitely bodes well for this 49ers defense. They can force a bunch of quick 3-and-outs and give it back to dominant, you know, offense. So now this is another game. A lot of people feel this may be a mismatch on paper, but you cannot sleep on this Vikings team. This Vikings team is actually good. They're no joke, okay? They are no jokes at all. I mean, come on. They just went into Drew Brees' house and beat him in his house. So you definitely cannot sleep on this Vikings team. They have tremendous talent on both sides of the ball. You know, on offense, Kirk Cousins, he's a very good quarterback who can hurt you on any given day. Dalvin Cook, I think he's one of the best running backs in the NFL. I don't think he gets his just due. You know, and also you got 2 great wide receivers in Thielen and Diggs who either one can have a big game on you. We just saw it with Thielen in New Orleans. You never know. It could be, you know, if you're not careful, Stephon Diggs could mess around and have a big game. You know, also you got Griffin and Hunter. You know, they definitely get after the quarterback. You know, they're ball hawks. They tackle pretty well. They could definitely get some pressure on Jimmy G, you know, force him to make some decisions he doesn't want to make. Also can find a way to get some sacks on him as well. So for all you know, out there who think the Vikings are scrubs, especially you 49ers fans, you know, if you're not careful and you take them lightly, you're going to have another thing coming. Either you're going to have to pull it out in a close game, or the Vikings can go into Levi Stadium and pull off the upset. So I definitely think this is going to be another close game. You got Kirk Cousins, Jimmy G, two very good quarterbacks. You also got talent on both sides of the ball and wide receiver and, running back. But the 49ers have the advantage at tight end with Kittle. And also both of these defense, they're tremendously talented. They both have some very good front sevens. They also have a pretty solid secondary. I do have some questions about the 49ers secondary. Can they, limit a Adam Thielen or a Stephon Diggs? Can they make it hard for them? I know what the front seven can do against Kirk Cousins, but I wonder how are they going to do against Thielen and Diggs? You got two great wide receivers that you're playing here in this game. Can't tell this cycle. You said, oh, I didn't forget about that loss to the Giants at home. He did get his revenge on them in the wild card game at home. Plus, I feel the Packers are rested and Matt LaFleur has some schemes to show Seattle. Yeah, but sometimes rest ain't always good, Intelligence Cycle. Sometimes it's not good. Sometimes you can get lackadaisical and rest on your laurels because you haven't played in a couple of weeks. While on the other hand, you have a team here in the Seahawks that's been playing, for the last few weeks. And basically, matter of fact, the last couple of games that the Seahawks played basically were playoff games because they were still trying to catch the 49ers for the NFC West, and they came very close to catching them for the NFC West. If it wasn't for dumb play calling by Pete Carroll, excuse me. So at least the last 2 or 3 weeks for the Seahawks, they've been playing playoff football during the regular season. So just because the Packers are rested doesn't really guarantee them a win either. Sometimes when teams are constantly playing, are constantly still playing, they're in a rhythm. They got their groove going. They have their swag on, their swag's on 10. And you definitely can't mess with that. Look at some of the wild card teams that won Super Bowls. Like the Packers, like the Giants, the Ravens, the Steelers. All those teams, all of them had a rhythm going, while the other teams that they beat, were basically at home rested. So sometimes that rest can turn into rust. That's all I'm saying. But now is my time for prediction. I think this is going to be a very close game. It may come down to the wire, it may come down to a single possession, or it could come down to OT. But I'm going to go with the 49ers at home in a close one. But I also wouldn't be upset if the Vikings went to Levi Stadium and got the win either. But I'm going to take the 49ers at home, because Jimmy G, and also I like their defense a little bit better, and the 49ers have some more weapons than the Vikings do. They got George Kittle who could just go off at any given time for some big plays. So I got the 49ers taking this one at home. All right. The last divisional matchup. This is in the NFC. This is the Seattle Seahawks versus the Green Bay Packers. And this is the game I will be live streaming Sunday night at 6 o'clock as part of as this was the subscribers' choice. I thank y'all for voting in the community board for this game. Now, the Seahawks, they're coming off of a grind out wild card win in Philly against the Eagles, 17-9. Russell Wilson, he had a pretty nice game as he went 18 of 30 for 325 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, and 45 rushing yards. The young rookie DK Metcalf had 160 yards, 1 touchdown. Tyler Lockett had 62 touchdowns. Beast mode, Marshawn Lynch, even though he had 7 yards, he had a big touchdown to extend the lead for the Seahawks, and he had 25 rushing yards. Okay, let me see some more of the comments on here. K Intelligence Cycle says, Steelers respect wants everyone to come to the Steelers. Okay, Steelers respect says Steelers should get Odell or Julio. You may have a chance at Julio, Steelers respect, but not Odell. Definitely not gonna have a chance. Definitely won't get Odell. But okay, back to the Seahawks. Now their defense came up big in this game as they had 7 sacks combined. The strong safety Bradley McDougall, had a sack. KJ Wright also had 1 sack. Cody Barton, he had 1 sack. KJ Wright and Cody Barton are the 2 linebackers. Quentin Jefferson, the defensive tackle, he had 2 sacks. Green, the defensive end, had 1 sack, and Jadeveon Clowney had 1 sack. So if you're the Packers, on offense, you got to watch your back for the other running back, Travis Homer, because he could definitely have a breakout game at any given time. And if Russell Wilson is feeding him and Beast Mode the ball equally, that definitely opens up the Seahawks running game, and that sets up the game. And then you got to look out for the tight end, Jacob Hollister. Now, the early part of the season, Hollister was not getting many, receptions, but the second half, especially the last few weeks of the regular season, Jacob Hollister had some pretty nice games, especially the game against the 49ers. On the flip side, on defense, you have to watch out for Quentin Jefferson and Bradley McDougall. If Quentin Jefferson can help out this front 7, get a whole lot of pressure on Aaron Rodgers, and if he can get another sack or 2, that definitely bodes well for the Seahawks defense. Also, McDougall, if he can contain Jimmy Graham, make him a non-factor, that also bodes well for the Seattle defense, because that would definitely tremendously help out the secondary and the veteran cornerback Trey Flowers. Now, on to the Packers. Now, Aaron Rodgers, we all know he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He's a bad dude, and he finished with 4,002 yards, 26 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and had a 50.4 QBR rating. Aaron Jones, the running back, who I think is pretty underrated, by the way, he finished with 1,084 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns, and 236 carries. Devontae Adams, the wide receiver, he had a pretty nice season as well. He finished with 997 yards and 5 touchdowns with only 83 receptions. Now, this Packers O-line definitely has some beast on it. You got the left guard, Lucas Patrick, David, excuse me, I hope I'm saying his name right, David Bakatari, the left tackle, and the center, Corey Lindsey. So they do a great job of protecting Aaron Rodgers and also setting up the run game for Aaron Jones as well. And the Packers definitely have some tremendous talent on this 3-4 defense that's anchored by the veteran linebacker Ladarius Smith. He finished with 41 tackles, led the team with 13.5 sacks and 1 forced fumble. Ooh, excuse me. I hope I ain't catching no cold, y'all. But then you got the linebacker Blake Martinez, who led the team in 97 tackles, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 1 pick. Also, now Preston Smith, the other linebacker, is questionable. But if he can play, this would definitely would make a lot of dividends for this Packers defense, excuse me. He finished with 56 tackles, 12 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 1 interception. Also, the Packers have a pretty nice secondary that's anchored by the cornerback Jair Alexander at 58 tackles, 2 picks, 1 forced fumble, and 17 passes deflected. Then you have the strong safety Adrian Amos, who had 84 tackles, 2 picks, and 8 passes deflected. Then the other cornerback, Kevin King, had 66 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 5 interceptions, and 15 passes deflected. Oh, y'all, excuse me. I think I'm catching a cold, y'all. So, man, this Packers defense can definitely bring the heat and also can get some turnovers, like some passes. Now, during the regular season, the Packers finished 18th in both total offense and total defense. If you're the Seahawks, you definitely got to watch your back for the veteran tight end, the ex-Seahawk Jimmy Graham, because he definitely does not get his just due as a tight end. I don't know why he never got the credit that he deserves as a tight end. That's something that always just that just boggled my mind. Everywhere he's been a factor on every team. Even though he finished with 447 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 38 receptions during the regular season, he could definitely have a big game at any given time. And if Aaron Rodgers is featuring him, pretty heavy in the passing game, that definitely opens up the Packers offense and also opens up the Packers passing game as well and sets up the running game pretty good. And on the defense, if you're Russell Wilson and that Seahawks O-line, you definitely got to watch out for Kenny Clark, even though, he's questionable. It was reported in the Green Bay media that he was very limited in practice Thursday due to an injured back. But if he can play in this game tomorrow night, it would definitely, make this Packers pass rush a lot more deadly, as he had 62 tackles, 6 sacks, and 1 forced fumble during the regular season. Excuse me. And also, the free safety Darnell Savage had 55 tackles, 2 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, and 5 passes deflected. If Savage can come in and be a big factor in this game, that opens up, King and Alexander even more in the secondary to stay on a DK Metcalf, a Tyler Lockett, and also, see the ball so they can either deflect the pass or come up with an interception and give it back to the Packers offense. Now, man, this is definitely a game I cannot wait to see. Y'all gotta excuse me. Y'all gotta excuse my stuffiness, y'all. I think QC's catching a cold. But I think this is gonna be a great game. This is gonna be a grind out game. Well, not a grind out game, but this is gonna be a battle. I think this is gonna be an offense. This could be an offensive game, because you got 2 great quarterbacks here in Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. But also you got tremendous talent on the defense as well. Both teams are ball hawks. They can get after the quarterback. They can also force turnovers. So that's going to be another factor in this game. Who wins the turnover battle? Whoever can play this game turnover free or have little turnovers, I think will win this game and move on to the NFC Championship game. But I think this is another game that could come down to a single possession or even overtime. Excuse me. That's how, evenly matched both of these teams are. You know, both quarterbacks can lead their team on a game-winning drive, for a touchdown or a game-winning field goal. So this is another game I went back and forth on all week, because both of these teams are so talented. These are some great teams. It's a shame that one of them will be going home after Sunday night, but I'm going to Seahawks here to pull off the upset. I think they go into Green Bay and get it done. I think Russell Wilson is definitely not afraid for big moments like this. And I definitely think he's going to go in there, step it up, and, get it done in Lambeau Field. All right. This is my divisional playoff preview. I see y'all comments here in the chat of who y'all think is going to win all these games this weekend. A lot of you basically think that all the home teams will hold serve and get it done at home. So a lot of y'all think it's gonna be the top seeds in the championship games next Sunday on Championship Sunday. I will be live streaming both of those games. I can't wait to see, those games, to see who's gonna, represent the AFC and the NFC in the Super Bowl. I thank y'all for coming on here on this Friday night, joining me. I love chatting with y'all about the games and football in general. I appreciate y'all support. I love doing these live streams because I get this I get the instant reaction up front. Also I get to interact with y'all. Okay, these are my social media pages. Y'all can look up Talking and Grubbing on those handles and follow me on those pages. I thank y'all for joining me here tonight. I wanted to get this done earlier this week, but some things got in the way, a personal matter, also just life in general. So, I'm sorry for coming this late with the live stream. But also y'all stay tuned. I got other live streams coming. Sunday, tomorrow I'll be live streaming the 49ers Vikings game, the Ravens and Titans game. Then Sunday I will be live streaming during the Seahawks and Packers game, which is the subscribers' choice that everybody voted for by a huge margin. Once again, I appreciate y'all votes in the community tab. If y'all haven't checked out the community tab, please do, because I'm always posting polls, updates, or just questions on sports in general. I just want y'all, just y'all takes on things. Also, I will be doing another subscriber's choice soon. But this time it's going to be the NBA. So y'all look out for that. And also join me here Monday night. I'll be live streaming during the 2020 National Clemson. Can't wait to see who walks out of New Orleans with the trophy. Gonna be live streaming on Super Bowl Sunday, February 2nd. I'm also gonna be doing the Super Bowl super giveaway. So I'm gonna be giving away more prizes during the Super Bowl. It's gonna be these prizes are gonna be a little holiday giveaway. And also I appreciate all the winners in that. A lot of y'all just getting your prizes. And also I got one more prize to give to one person. Their prize is going to be coming soon, so look out for that. You know who you are. But I got a lot of upcoming live streams. Also, I'm going to be working on some new videos. It's going to be posted on the channel soon, so y'all look out for that. But anyways, I gotta get out of here, y'all, because I gotta start working on these videos. You know, plus if you want to donate to me, you can donate to me via Cash App or PayPal. Any donation you can give, I would greatly appreciate it. It will help me keep this channel going so I can continue to create more quality content for y'all. Also, I want to get to, get on the road a little bit more in 2020. Definitely want to get on the road more in 2020. Going to different restaurants, ballparks, and stadiums. Also, you can shop for official Talking and Grubbing merchandise in the Teespring store. About to give y'all the link right now. I'm selling t-shirts for men and women, hoodies, socks, more. I got some more things that I'm working on that I'm going to put in the shop. So y'all stay tuned for that. And also from now till January 31st, you can get $20 off your purchase. Oops. Misspelled the promo code. Or you can get free shipping on your purchase. I'm gonna give you the promo code for the free shipping. So yeah, make sure y'all go to teespring.com right now in the Talking and Grubbing store and check out, the merchandise. Make sure you buy. I greatly appreciate it. Appreciate any purchase you can make. There's a lot of stuff that's affordable. I didn't want to gouge people. So all the stuff I have in the store is very affordable. And you can get it shipped to you as quickly as possible. But once again, I gotta get out of here, y'all. I want to thank all my loyal subscribers for supporting me. If this was your first time on the channel, welcome. Don't make it your last. Subscribe to the channel now. Click that bell icon and make sure you click all so you don't miss any new videos from me or any upcoming live streams, because I got a lot of live streams coming up in these next couple of weeks. Definitely don't want to miss them. So I got to get out of here, y'all. I thank y'all for joining me here on this Friday night. Y'all have a good love y'all to life. QC out. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend and also enjoy these games.